One ongoing trend in comic books is that both publishers, including Marvel and DC, tend to release some of their biggest news announcements later on in the month. I think this is due in large part to the publishers releasing their full solicitations, which is every single comic book Marvel and DC has to offer a little bit later on in the month as well. And Marvel just went ahead and dropped their full solicitation catalog for April, and I want to go ahead and dive into 5 of my most anticipated comics. There's so many big titles kind of wrapping up, in the month of April, including the SinsofSinister event. There's a new Guardians of the Galaxy title on the way, and a landmark Avengers saga is now coming to an end. My name is Arako Braddock, and today, let's go ahead and dive deep into Marvel's batch of titles for April. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to go ahead and encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button on this video if you want to go ahead and support our content. And I want to kick off our 5 biggest comics video of April by showing off Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy #1. This one is written by Collin Kelly and Jackson Lanzing. We have art from Kev Walker and a cover from Marco Checchetto. Who are the Guardians of the Galaxy? 1 year ago, the Guardians of the Galaxy were destroyed, their optimistic future shattered by the betrayal of one of their own. Now they ride the space lanes of a lawless corner of the galaxy, trying to outrun their tragedy. Can they rediscover their heroism and humanity on the bleakest frontier? Can they forgive the failures of the past? Or will they fade into the dark, eternally unforgiven? Writers Collin Kelly and Jackson Lanzing team up with artist Kev Walker for a Guardian story like no other. I want to talk a little bit about Guardians of the Galaxy as a whole. This last run on the series, from Al Ewing and a wide range of collaborators, including artist Juan Cabal, was such an incredibly vivid and detailed series that really fleshed out characters like Star-Lord very nicely. So it seems like Marvel is going in a much different direction with this new Guardians of the Galaxy series, and I really hope that the publisher is not just implementing this Western theme, but making sure that they have a story-first approach to this series. So I'll be curious to see how this new Guardians of the Galaxy run shakes out. I like the new kind of Western themes for each character. And my #2 book for the month is SinsofSinister Dominion. This one is written by Kieran Gillen. We have art from Lucas Werneck and Paco Medina with this cover that we're taking a look at right now over from Lionel Francis Yu. 1,000 years of hell and damnation come to an end with the loudest scream in history, and for the truly guilty, there is no escape. Can the future change the present, or will we just make all the same mistakes again? Either way, the present will have to live with the future's sins. So I am so excited for the SinsofSinister event. It is almost underway over at Marvel. I actually just had the opportunity to go ahead and cover Immortal X-Men #10, which is planting so many seeds for this crossover event. I love how so many X-Men titles have been working together kind of like jointly to go ahead and lead up and add so much context to this SinsofSinister event. And I am super excited to see kind of how this brings us into the fall of X and where we're headed next over in the X-Men. So really, really pumped for the SinsofSinister ending, and just can't wait to finally kick this title off very shortly here. And the next book I want to go ahead and cover is AvengersAssemble Omega #1. This one is written by Jason Aaron. There's art from Javier Guerin, Aaron Cooter, Jim Tao, Yvonne Fiorelli, and more. We're taking a look at the cover up on the screen from Aaron Cooter. The grand, oversized finale of the most epic battle in the history of Earth's mightiest heroes. Along with the final issue of Jason Aaron's 5-year Avengers run, this features an all-star cavalcade of artists, a veritable smorgasbord of Avengers, and a few last emotional gut punches in the mighty Marvel manner. This one has just such a gorgeous cover from Aaron Cooter. I really like how stylized Aaron Cooter's figures are across the issue. and just really appreciate kind of like the sense of perspective that he lends to his art. It's not quite photorealistic. It's a little bit more kind of like subversive, and I think kind of the poses with the characters looking up are just so iconic in this issue. Next up, we have Captain America Cold War Alpha #1. This one is written by Collin Kelly, Jackson Lanzing, and Tochi Onyebuchi. It's illustrated by Carlos Magno, and we're taking a look at this gorgeous cover over from Daniel Acuna. The revolution starts here. Cold War Part 1. Bucky Barnes is the Outer Circle's new revolution and has enacted his deadliest move yet, an alliance with Sam Wilson's nemesis, the White Wolf. When Steve Rogers' adopted son, Ian, aka Nomad, is abducted by someone Steve thought was a friend, he suspects Bucky's hand at work and calls upon the people who know Ian best: Sam Wilson, Sharon Carter, and Misty Knight to help get to the bottom of the attack. Has Bucky finally gone too far? Why has Nomad been taken? And what does it have to do with the portal to Dimension Z opening over a secret battleground in Alaska? The Symbol of Truth and Sentinel of Liberty unite for a pulse-pounding crossover that will make them question everything they believe in and each other. So this crossover event is kind of uniting the twin Captain America titles, focusing on Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers over in the Marvel Universe for kind of like a cohesive whole. So it'll be interesting to see how this kind of new status quo with Bucky shakes out. I'll tell you, one thing I'm a little bit worried about with this crossover is this kind of current status quo for Bucky seems very similar to what other, Captain America writers have done with this character. So I'm going to be curious to read the issue and see if it kind of like calls upon what has been done with the character, or if it kind of is able to flesh out a new story with Bucky. And lastly, we have She-Hulk #12. This one is written by Rainbow Rowell, illustrated by Andres Guinolet, cover by Jen Bartel, that we're taking a look at right now. And I want to read off Marvel's solicitation text for this kind of landmark She-Hulk issue. She-Hulk reaches the landmark 175th issue. Not only does She-Hulk find herself face to face with the brand new villain Scoundrel, but she also puts her whole law practice in danger. All this plus bonus stories that will have people talking. I really hope that some of these bonus stories are going to, kind of flesh out a little bit more behind Jen. I would say that the one aspect of kind of Jennifer Walters and this current She-Hulk run that I really want to see fleshed out more are some of those more ancillary relationships. While I've really enjoyed She-Hulk, I would even say I've loved it. I wish the scope of the book was a little bit wider, because I think it's a little bit kind of narrow, really focusing on She-Hulk's romantic life. But again, this series has just been written with so much nuance over from writer Rainbow Rowell that I'm willing to kind of go along with the story to see what the destination is at the other side. Marvel has so many titles that they're publishing, and I'm really excited to see all the new titles that they have to offer. But I want to know from you, which of these comics are you going to go ahead and pick up? Thank you guys so much for checking out the video, and we'll be back very soon for more excellent comic book content. We'll see you soon.